What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this podversation. Listen, do we owe Tyrese an apology? Listen, I'm not going to say I owe him an apology, but I will say that hearing the statement from his ex-wife and just, some things that have transpired recently, it's none of our business. So, I'm just going to preface all of this by saying this is their personal relationship, and he has made so much of it public, like literally public, that it has turned a lot of people off. So, with that being said, and the limited information that we have and how he has handled a lot of things, it just did not put him in a good light. But the Neighborhood Talk, they have this clip of his ex-wife talking about the marriage and divorce. And I'm just going to play this clip, and then I want to play his response and reaction to it.
The truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No.
Wow.
I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. Because I think that women were like, I'm an extremely emotional person. People that know me know that about me. I'm the kind of person that okay, I feel so strong, and I can ruminate. I can get so lost in my thoughts. I know a lot of women are like that. We're a lot, not all of us, right? But some of us are, just like a lot of men can be like that. But I know women specifically, there will be moments where they'll be like, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I can't stand this. He don't do this. He don't do that.
All right, so you heard her statement, and she's basically saying that, I don't know if she's blaming other people, but she's basically, to me, it sounds like she's saying she regrets moving forward with the divorce, because she's saying if she had different people in her ear, she would not have made the decision. So does she still love him? Well, he clearly still loves her, but he's really angry and pissed off, extremely emotional, shared so much prior to this, and now he's sharing more. I don't know if she's sitting there and listening to these diatribes that he's doing on social media, but we're listening to it, and I'm going to play this clip.
That influenced you into leaving your husband and your 1-year-old child, your innocent 1-year-old child. We both were divorcee kids, grew up in toxic environments, torn in between our old family, new family, stepfather, stepmother. That's a life that we both lived. And you packed up a 1-year-old, put a COVID mask on top of the Ring cameras, and I was literally in an airplane on my way home to fight for my marriage and my family. You're heartless. None of you, if you had friends in your ear, you're lying, you're gaslighting, you're playing. The only person that was in your ear was your mom. If you had people in your ear, had a whole lot of people like Aventer Gray, Taffy Dollar, Creflo Dollar's wife, who married us. You had a whole lot of people in your ear telling you that you're about to do something stupid, impulsive, and y'all are actually not going through anything that would make you want to leave your husband. Let's go even further. When Aventer Gray and Pastor John Gray were having their own marital issues at the time, you arranged a therapy session with Aventer Gray at our house. And when she walked out of her therapy session, she walked into the foyer where the Bumblebee is, and there was 50 boxes with like 7 or 8 people there packing up all the shit to leave the house. Your ear was your mama. Her name is Patricia Randolph. You didn't have people in your ear. The amount to leave the house. And I was in an airplane on my way home to try and fight and save our marriage. So if you had people in your ear at the time, they must be still in your ear, because you're still trying to get $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old. You make $160,000 a year on your own. This is all a game. You're clout chasing. You're something that I don't even know. A simple woman, not into materialistic things, don't care about fame and mansions and popularity. You're everything that you told me and all of your friends and loved ones that you wasn't. If you wanted to be famous, boo-boo, that's all you had to say. You didn't have to play this game that you wasn't. Now you out here playing on single mothers and their emotions, playing on to leave the house, playing on women that are actually in abusive relationships and fucked up marriages that are toxic and dark and dysfunctional. That's not what that was. You think I would have a song entitled "I Don't Think You Ever Loved Me" if I didn't really feel that way? You think I would have a song out called "Love Transaction" if I didn't realize that it was never love, it was just a transaction? This shit is about money. You've hired 3 law firms trying to fucking suck me dry. I'm approaching $1 million in legal fees, and we had a prenup. You already tried to ask me to come back. You already tried to reconcile. I told you I was in a relationship with Zelly, and I was not willing to go and break this off or cut this woman off because you decided to wake up on a Wednesday and come back and play in the sandbox. Playing on women. Everything about the way you left me was heartless. It was evil. You never considered me, your marriage, and let alone your innocent 1-year-old child. She had to celebrate her 2nd birthday apart. And if you really are suddenly caring about the effects that you've had on me and your family, why don't you sit these fucking lawyers off of me? Call your lawyers right now and tell them that everything that you're still trying to get right now, you don't want it no more.
Well, you heard that. And I can't say that I disagree with him. Listen, none of us were in that marriage. None of us were in that household. But like I said, the rants and the crying videos and just the different things that he has done, it gave people reason to pause and question, to say, did he drive this woman away? As well as the fact that how he handled things when it came to the child support. There's a way to handle it. You might feel like, no, she doesn't need that amount of money. And that very well might be true. And yeah, courts, they're not always fair. We have people who are very imperfect on juries. And even if it's not a jury trial, you have judges that are biased. I mean, it happens, unfortunately, all the time. But the way he handled things, it just was not a good look, saying, he wanted to have a prayer march to protest the judge and the amount of money that they're trying to make him pay in child support and different things like that. It's like, that's just not the way to handle it. You get a good attorney, you file an appeal, you have the financial records, you do things like that. And then if they order you to pay, just pay and then file an appeal or a request to lower the amount or something like that. Because when you don't do what they, tell you to do or order you to do, then what it really makes it look like is you're just slapping them in the face and you're being defiant and you don't care about the judge's rules or orders. Because for a lot of these judges, it's more about that and their ego versus the laws. Let's just be clear. But, not to dive into all of that when it comes to the legal field. That's just the legal assistant speaking to me. I was a legal assistant for 12 years, many years ago. Haven't been in that field in a long time and so glad that I'm no longer in it. But listen, do we owe Tyrese an apology? No. But do we understand his anger and frustration a little bit more now at this point? Yeah, definitely. Because for her to come out and even say that, I mean, listen, I honestly commend her for having the bravery to even do that, because some people would just stand up in their wrong and say, yeah, I was, I was threatened. I mean, lie. They may just come out and say that he was saying things and doing things that he actually was not doing that force you out of the marriage. Some people will do that to try to make the other party look bad. So it takes a lot of courage and bravery for her to even come out and make a statement like that, honestly, because again, like I said, some people, they will just stand up in their lies, or they will stand up in their wrong and try to blame the other person for the decisions that they made, which were not the right decisions for them. So she's definitely living in a space of regret in this point in time. And it is sad because marriages, they're already on the brink of destruction when it comes to a lot of people these days, not just African Americans. I mean, all over. My God, like Meryl Streep, we just learned that her and her husband of 45 years divorced or separated 6 years ago. It's like at that point in time, just stay together. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saddened to hear this. And I'm glad that he chose to make the statement that he made in a calm demeanor. Because listen, a lot of the times, a lot of the things that he said and done, it hasn't been in a rational way where it make people understand. But I will say, when he did the Breakfast Club, when DJ Envy went off on him, and I talked about that in a previous conversation and how I felt like DJ Envy was extremely disrespectful. It was inappropriate. It was unprofessional. All of that good stuff, right? It made me understand him even more, because how he responded to that situation with DJ Envy, I actually agree with him, because that was just flat out wrong. And I said then, I'm not like team anybody when it comes to any of those people, because one, I don't know any of them, and two, I don't follow any of them in that way for me to really care that much. But I felt like DJ Envy was 100% wrong. And that could have went in a completely total direction if Tyrese chose for it to go that way. But he felt ambushed, and he was. You know what I mean? And so for him to respond the way that he did, I absolutely commend him for that. And now him coming out and responding to this, he didn't have to do it publicly, but because he's done so many other things publicly, he probably felt like he needed and had to do that. So I get that portion of it, but I'm glad that he did it in this way. And he spoke facts about and surrounding the situation. He talked about there was no like real reason for her to leave the marriage. And even those that had counseled them and even married them were saying, listen, based on what you're sharing with us, because no, we don't know everything that's going on behind closed doors. We don't really see anything that cannot be worked out in therapy and counseling and other things to work on the relationship and the marriage. She just didn't want to be in it anymore, but she's blaming people who are in her ear. And it is true. Sometimes you do have family. Listen, I have been married for 25 years. Okay. And especially as a woman, and he spoke on that, but he called her mother out. Okay. I'm going to tell you, sometimes you have family, and it's not just on the woman's side, because I know that I have seen it. It hasn't affected anything in my marriage, but people have tried it because people get jealous. They don't like you. They see your life. They see your lifestyle. Not that you're showcasing anything or showing off or trying to brag or trying to act like you're better than anyone or anything like that. But sometimes people who are in these families, they don't like seeing if they're miserable. That old saying, misery loves company, is 100% true. So let's just say her mom is a miserable single woman. She probably would prefer for her daughter to be miserable and single just like her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a true thing. I'm not going to go into any of my personal information or details, but I'm saying that can happen where you will have a family member who could be your own mother, Thank God I don't have a mom like that. But there are mothers out there like that, that would rather see their child miserable, suffering, single, all of that stuff. They feel that they don't think their child is any better than them. So they feel like that child should be on the same type of level or have to go through the same type of suffering and misery that they have. So they will say things to try to sway, to try to make you see things that are not really there, to try to make you see things differently, to cause you to turn. And so you really have to be careful about entertaining people like that, because people carry spirits. First of all, we are spiritual beings and we inhabit these human bodies first and foremost. So they're dark people spiritually and there are light people spiritually. And if you have a person who is dark spiritually, listen, I'm telling you, I know of what I speak here. They will try to destroy your household and your marriage. You have to be careful about who you entertain. And I don't care if they're family. That old saying, blood is thicker than water, is bullshit. I'm just going to say it just like that. Because family, they can be the number one source to try to destroy you and tear you down. Period. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, siblings, cousins, second cousins, third cousins. I don't care. Stepmama, stepdaddy, you thought they were so cool or whatever. If they are dark spiritually, they can act like they're happy for you, but behind closed doors, they will try to sway you, try to say things to manipulate you, to cause you to turn and to make decisions that are gonna, you look back and you wonder, how did I get here? How did I get here? You know, and so it sounds like she's living in some regret. That's something that she experienced. And now this is where she is. But like he said, you know, if you are feeling like this, why don't you, take the dogs off me. Stop sicking the dogs on me, meaning the attorneys. He said he's $1 million in legal fees, which is maybe one of the reasons why he wants to sue Home Depot. To get some money for a race discrimination case because he's trying to, reimburse himself on the other end. Listen, and I'm making jokes, but I mean, I do feel that Home Depot race discrimination lawsuit thing is bull. But I'm just saying, I understand because these are ways that some people just try to come up off of a easy money grab. Almost like some people who go to stores and they slip and fall and they have their attorney on speed dial. You know what I mean? Like, it's understandable for him to be upset and to express himself, but I'm glad that he did it in a calm demeanor. But listen, he might be right. He might be right. So I just wanted to talk about that, share my thoughts in it, see what you guys think about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.